You don't have to make music to have an opinion of music at all. Like, music is there to be studied. It's also there to just be enjoyed casually. Like, that's the beauty of music. But I love when people have their own opinions because I think that that's what makes conversation and that's what stops us all from thinking the same thing.
PinkPantheress emerged in 2021, posting songs she made in her bedroom to TikTok and SoundCloud. Within months, snippets of her music were pulling in millions of plays online, introducing a lot of people to a sound that felt nostalgic and new at the same time.
I think a couple years ago, we talked about the lengths of a song and how you don't think a song has to be like super long.
My point was never that a song shouldn't be over like 2 minutes. My point was that a song didn't have to be over 2 minutes to be good.
How does it feel like to like, you know, push for your art when sometimes people don't get it the way you get it?
I obviously did a lot of this myself in the beginning. So I think that it kind of left them with no choice but to be like, well, you know, if we come in and start changing everything, then she might lose. And I'm one of those people where like, if my morale is lost, then it's like...
She approaches music like a curator and an archivist, pulling from different eras and influences and reshaping them into something that still feels fresh and distinctly hers.
What was that turning point where you're like, okay, I have to kind of like step out now?
Oh, I'd always read reviews and people would always say things like Pink's performance is like someone dancing at a house party and Pink's performance is like watching a drunk auntie at a cookout. I am very vulnerable, like I'm very honest about my feelings and things, but I think you sometimes need to fake the confidence when it comes to your own artistry.
In this episode of The Perfect Playlist, we get into the creative process behind her sound, her approach to production and vocals, and how she's navigating growth and evolution as an artist.
You came up on TikTok. If hypothetically, in a different world, you had to do it all over again,
I think I could do it, but I think it would be 10 times harder.
what do you think is different now?
Well, I hate to sound, I guess.
Hi, my name is Elsie, and you're watching The Perfect Playlist with
PinkPantheress.
So today we'll be picking songs from PinkPantheress' discography, 10 songs, 5 from me, 5 from her. We're gonna get into the production, the stories behind the music, and just get into just her world, because I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
I love what you do.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's do it. So honestly, the first song I wanted to play today is probably my favorite song so far from Fancy That. That album, like, when I first heard it, I don't know, I kind of slept on it.
Yeah.
And then I started re-listening to it. And this year, Noises really stood out to me.
Yeah, yeah.
For like obvious reasons. So I just want to start out by playing that one.
I guess I got it wrong today, it's not my holiday. I steal the show from them no matter what them people say. I got it from the map that I forgot today. I feel like he would care about it anyway. I'm home alone, I'll do just what I wanna do. I hear someone knock my door but now I'm in the mood. But my parents said that they would be returning soon. I think I hear some noises from my living room.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? That house step on it, step on it. That house step on it.
Okay, I do want to talk about that sample. I think it was such a... I would never have expected you to like flip that Nardo Wick sample, but like you kind of brought it into your own like drum and bass world. And I want to ask like what it takes for you to know something will sound good as a sample.
So yeah, I'm somebody that like, I just, in the process of making a song, I will try anything. And one thing that the beauty of a sample is that you can change the pitch of a sample to fit whatever pitch of the song that you're working on is. So you can manipulate things so crazily. You can slow things down, speed things up, change the pitch. So no matter what sample I have, if I want to use a sample, I will always manage to use it no matter if it fits in or not, because I will always manipulate it enough to like make it fit. But this sample for this song specifically, there was a gap in the chorus, and I don't know, I just really actually love the original song. And I asked my producer, I was like, is this too crazy to put this in? Because I have an idea. And I showed him and he was like, no, this is so crazy. This is genius. And I was like, oh, sure, well,
Throw that in there.
and then kept it in.
Yeah. I like the fact that you have like, I don't know, like a knack for like earworm stuff. Like those little phrases that just stick with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just one of like, I'm listening to that, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And, like, it just keeps going on and on. I really, really like that. But I wanted to ask you, like, you just won Producer of the Year at the Brits. Like, did you ever kind of like see yourself becoming this like being recognized in that way for your production, especially as a woman?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I've really wanted recognition for, because I see it as like my main skill in my artistry is production and then songwriting.
Okay, so I want to pass you just to pick
from my discography.
For your discography, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, go girl. Well, I guess we should start it from the beginning.
Okay.
So this is my first project, and if it's 5 songs, actually I have 5 projects, so I could probably pick one from every song.
Yeah.
Starting from the first.
Okay.
So this is my favorite song from this project. I think it's quite underrated.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called Notice I Cried.
Okay.
I'll play 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was early last week, you said we don't really have that much in common. But what did you really get from it? We split in 2, now you don't want me. Now it's the start of July. You thought that you broke my heart, and now every time that you see me, you vanish. Cause you assumed you really mattered. But I was sound, I had a pattern. Now you were bad enough mine. And did you notice I cried? But I only just a little bit. Tell you I like things.
This is Notice I Cried, and the reason that this is a good one to start with, just from all 5 of the projects, is because this was actually the first song I made without just my own production. I made this was my first ever session I did with a producer, and it was with Oscar Schaller.
Okay.
And this was in 2021, so this was quite a while ago now. And it samples an artist called Signal Drift and with his song And Yet. And Oscar showed me the sample, and I was like, honestly, I think Oscar actually is probably one of the best samplers I know, just because he really knows everything. Like it's quite crazy, his like expansion of knowledge. But yeah, it was my first session, and I don't know, I just always really liked the writing and the melodies on that track. So
how do you get into writing for a song? Because I really like the fact that your songs feel very very personal.
yeah,
Feel like drawn from real life experiences. Is that always the case?
yeah, I think so. I also think that I obviously was in the UK growing up, and you know, we have shows like Skins, but I do think Skins is quite an accurate show for like what a lot of UK like childhood, teenagehood is like. So there was a lot of meth, a lot of like drama, a lot of like seeing my friends do drugs and like go crazy and go wild. And I do think that a lot of what I write about is things that I've seen from my friends, because I can't say I've had the craziest life really, but I've bared witness to a lot of craziness. So yeah. So
Do you think any of them have ever listened to your music and like know
that it's about them?
It's about them?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay.
Some people from school don't even know it that I am me. Like as in like.
Till now?
No, like my friend was saying how, my best friend was saying how we went to this school with this girl. My best friend said, "Oh, I saw this girl from our school."
Okay.
And the girl was like to ask my best friend like, "Oh, really? What's Vicky up to these days?" And
oh, really?
and I'm Vicky. And my best friend was like, "Oh, like she's like a singer now."
Oh, wow.
And then she showed her my music, and the girl was like, "Oh my god, that's her!" Like what the hell? Like I know this artist. Like so it's crazy.
That's crazy.
So some people from school don't even know. Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Wow. Do you actually feel like a difference in your day-to-day life, like being PinkPantheress?
And being just me.
Yeah, and just being regular you.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah, I think there was definitely a point where it was like the lines were blurred between like how I could live like a regular student and then how I could live, because all my friends were students and I was living with them while I was being an artist. But at some point it got too much. Like nowadays for sure it's gone past the threshold, which is cool.
Which is cool. Like, okay, my next song. I think this might be my favorite song so far. Let me play it.
Oh yeah.
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 I might just let this whole one play because it's really
so short. It's a minute.
Yeah.
I thought I found the answer to it, eternal happiness tonight. But it was just another blip in my heart. Sometimes I think of calling you up to make myself look bad again. But now I'm bringing flowers to your front door.
so a lot of things stand out to me about this song. First thing is the song that you sampled here. You sampled it twice now.
Yeah.
What about that song? Like, did you know make like a good sample where you can make two entirely different songs, but they still like both sound so good at the same time?
So I love Just Jack, and that's the artist who I sampled twice. And I love his song. I love his whole first and second album. And he has a song called Glory Days, which I truly believe is. I'm just a big fan of I think. I don't know what else to call it other than British artistry. Like artists like. There's an artist called Example who I really like. There's an artist called Just Jack I really love. I love The Streets. And there's something in common with these artists. There's a very interesting mundanity in their voices. I think a lot of people, there was an era in UK music where like people would literally just, it's not even like really singing at all. It's not rapping either. It's kind of just talking on a beat.
A song.
Like, and I love it. Like, to me, it's what gives a song character. So all that to say, the original that I sampled, Stars in Their Eyes, it's such a good song. It's like literally talking about how the industry will try and take people and like make them pop stars, but they basically ultimately that person just ends up being like a flop and just like ends up singing in a, like, this original song is actually amazing. But yeah, I just really love the song. I don't know what made me sample it twice. I think I don't know.
First time you took the beat, second time you took the vocals.
The vocal. I don't know. I just really like that song. Maybe I was just like, I don't know. Also, I really love Jack, like, as an artist. I think also he's really sweet and he's been really nice. And I kind of just think, I don't know. I was just like, why not? So I did.
Yeah, you said something really interesting about like your voice. And I think that's one thing that really like stood out to me hearing you for the first time. I think maybe this was like 2021, back in the pandemic. You like, because like your singing voice is very different from your talking voice. Was that like a very like conscious decision that you made out first, like putting out music, like this is how? Because I've seen you do some videos where like you're like really singing.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that would be you on songs?
I think that with what genre I make as PinkPantheress, I just don't think any other style of voice would work that well. Because the way I see it, the music that I make is so much instrumental. There's a lot of instrumental going on with the drums specifically that I almost feel like you need to leave room for your voice, and I think the only way to leave room for your voice is by removing some of the low end out of your voice. And so for me that means literally singing in a higher register. That removes some of the natural like the natural bass tone from my voice, so that it doesn't interfere with the bass that I put into the song. Yeah, it's
that's
so
very
technical.
interesting. Yeah,
it's technical. But I thought about it when I first started. It's too much to have a drum and bass song with this really thick vocal, in my opinion. So I just removed some of the low end of my voice.
Do you think you would ever venture out of the drum and bass?
Yeah, of course. And I have, and
in
I'd
some
say
parts, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say heaven knows there's not much of that going on. And fancy that, you know, it goes more into like.
Be serious. Ask me to call emergency.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, my next album I would love to do. I don't know. I definitely don't want to do. I'm definitely not. I don't think I'm gonna revisit the same thing twice. So we'll see. But I never want it to leave. I never want it to be not a part of my artistry either. Like if I perform live, I'll always make sure I perform like my heavier songs. Yeah.
Okay. I have one more question
Yeah.
on this though. We're talking about how short the song is.
Yeah.
I think a couple years ago you said something about like you talked about the lengths of a song and how you don't think a song has to be like super long. And I remember watching it. I was like, that's interesting. Do you still have the same?
I don't think the song has to be that long to be good. No, I don't. But the thing is, right? Like, that's just. I mean, it's not even a crazy. Like, nothing has to be anything for it to be good. So, my point was never that a song shouldn't be over like 2 minutes. My point was that a song didn't have to be over 2 minutes to be good.
Okay.
And yeah, at the end of the day, that's my opinion, and I like how my music sounds at the length it is, and I also think that one day I'm going to make much longer songs which also hopefully sound good
Super
too.
fleshed out songs.
But I love when people have their own opinions, because I think that that's what makes conversation, and that's what stops us all from thinking the same thing.
That's true.
So
I feel like a lot of people were going for the fact where they were like, there are elements of the song that need to be there. Like the song has to have like a bridge.
Yeah.
Has to have like
But that's-
first, second verse.
And that makes sense, because the thing is, you have to realize as well, like, a lot of people aren't necessarily, and you don't have to make music to have an opinion of music at all. Like, music is there to be studied, it's also there to just be enjoyed casually. Like, that's the beauty of music.
That's true.
So I think more casual listeners, when they hear an artist or a singer or a musician talk about music, you know, not needing things and needing things, when I think they hear a person who they view as someone that should do things the correct way say, oh, actually we don't need to do it this way, I think more casual music listeners who maybe don't have the context of like, well, creativity is actually a spectrum and we don't have to stick to rules. I think it almost sounds like you're hearing a doctor say, oh, we don't need lungs. So it's kind of like, oh,
It's jarring.
it's jarring. So
Yeah.
it's jarring hearing somebody with a platform have an opinion about their art. But it also shouldn't be that crazy either, because
it's their art.
I have a platform because I make art. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think people just have, you know, I think, and it's fine. Like, I never ever get, if people say when people were calling me stupid and dumb, I was like, okay, maybe I am. But yeah, no, I don't think anything needs anything. But hey, one day maybe I'm gonna put 10,000 bridges in a song and we'll see how it goes.
It's still gonna be your song.
Still gonna be my song, and you don't have to listen to my song. And that's the beauty of decision making. So I will say one thing though. I actually have put a few bridges in some of my songs.
Yeah.
I
you
really
have.
I fuck with the bridge. Actually, one of my favorite bridges. I'll play it for you at some point.
Okay.
When it's
All
my
right.
go.
Next is your.
Oh, it is my go.
Yeah, you're good.
But we're not on that album yet, so let's go to the next project, which is Heaven. Oh, it is! Yes, it is the right one. Okay, so after Heaven Knows, after To Hell With It, came Heaven Knows. This is my second project. And actually, I lie. So after To Hell With It came Take Me Home, the EP.
Oh yeah.
So
Hey, that's a lot of people gloss over
a lot of people gloss over. I mean, it is a bit of a strange.
Yeah.
It is an EP, so I'm kind of just like, okay. But this is an interesting one. There's 3 songs. 3 of them are very different songs. Take Me Home, Boys Lie, Do You Miss Me? Boys Lie, obviously, we know Boys Lie.
Yeah.
Well, not obviously. I don't know if you knew that.
Of course.
Do You Miss Me? Kate Renata
Me,
produced. Take Me Home. I don't know which one to pick. I'm gonna go with Take Me Home.
Take Me Home. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Making the most of my life till the day that I hit 25. I know that they'll make an adult of me. I know that I'm not quite ready to be. And I know I've got some growing. I realized the other day when I said some things that I knew that I shouldn't say. I opened up a letter of bills that I didn't pay. They were due in April, but now it's the end of May. It's sad that I prepared to be so young till the end of time. I realized when I struggled to get out of my room last night, got on the phone.
Yeah, that's fire.
So that's Take Me Home. And yeah, I made that with some producers called Future Cut. And made it in London, and they showed me this beat, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Can I make some adjustments to it? And they were like, yeah, sure. I made them change some of the notes of the bass. What else did I do? I don't know if I got them to change the drums, but essentially we left with this song, and it was completely buried. I didn't do anything with it, but I did send it to someone to post on YouTube for me. So I was like, can you post this on YouTube? And just like, this was back when
It's not on your YouTube.
No.
Oh no. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I used to do this thing where, like, basically there was a point where in 2021 you could put any song with the thing PinkPantheress, like PinkPantheress demo, and it would just
so
do
much
well
on YouTube,
and it would just do it decently well. And I think it's because I was still not really releasing that much yet, and I kind of was putting bits out but not too much, and people were craving like the specific sound at the time. So I remember I made them put this one online, and yeah, it did pretty well. And that for me was like it's always a signal for me to if someone is asking for a track, and then it's like, okay, there's demand here, I know I should put this out at some point. So this one was one of those songs where I was like, okay,
Let me just put this out.
just put it out in 2022, yeah.
I think that era for you was very interesting because you were like almost faceless
Yeah.
in a while, and like I realized, like, I've watched a lot of your interviews and you talked about how that was kind of a deliberate choice because like you weren't ready, but we've kind of seen you grow so much.
Yeah.
I watch your like shows right now and I'm like, this is crazy. Like you're like completely seasoned. What was that turning point where you're like, okay, I have to kind of like step out now and like
I think the turning point was, it's kind of interesting, it all felt so gradual. It didn't necessarily feel like there was one turning point, as opposed to there was like 4 or 5 turning points.
Okay.
And I still have turning points today where I'm like, oh, this still isn't what I want it to be. I need to go even crazier. But I suppose my first one was like, performing wise, I don't know. Sometimes I used to watch, I think it was when I was like opening up for like Olivia Rodrigo opened up for in 2023. And I remember I was struggling a lot on that tour. Being an opener is really difficult in general. I was up there on the stage, my self-esteem every show was just plummeting down.
Wow.
And then it really got to me so badly. It got to me so badly that my body was actually in physical pain. I had to take myself off the tour. And bless Olivia, like I still feel so bad, like I had to leave her without an opener and stuff, but she was obviously super lovely about it.
How did you get over that?
As in, like, how did
that type of feeling? Because like it even got like physical. How do you overcome something
it took
like
honestly, it took a while. It took actually a while because I'm someone that takes the, it's bad enough that you're taking yourself out of that situation, but then I felt bad that I had left her without an opener, and I was like, oh my god, I've let her down, let everybody down, that even and of course, like, her fans obviously probably didn't get her too much, but there were people in the audience that were coming for me, like, and her, so I was like, oh gosh.
Like random like fans?
Like, so people like at stops that knew I was an opener that might be coming to see me as an opener and then see her. So I was like, oh god, I feel so awful. So it took me a while to get over that, but that for me was a turning point. And I'd always read reviews and people would always say things like, oh, she would be, Pink's performance is like someone dancing at a house party, and Pink's performance is like watching a drunk auntie at a cookout.
Everyone will talk about the bag.
Yeah, and the bag too. And I suppose my argument was always like, well, one, I'm an artist where I don't know how to really perform to my music because my music is at an interesting tempo. It's too quick to dance to, but then it's also too like mellow to really go powerhouse with it. So it was a very difficult thing to strike. There's not really many artists who make my type of music which I can look at and be like, okay, they did it like this, I should do it like this too. The only thing I noticed was that people would have a DJ, so I was like, I think I should get a DJ. That's when I obviously inquired about DJs around, and then I found DJ Joe, and then I just decided I was just going to curate everything myself, and I was going to just stop trying to, like, I don't know, curate something that, people, I didn't want to, I would think I was just sick and tired of trying to, like, impress people that weren't even fans in the first place, if that makes sense, like critics or people that didn't really know. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start with my own headline, and I'm going to figure it out here first. And then I did, and it was a good reaction. For the first time, I felt like people actually thought I was doing well. So then I just built from there, and nowadays, I go on stage and it's not a problem anymore, so.
I will say though that Fancy, that really translates really well live.
Yeah.
Was that like intentional when you were crafting the project, knowing that some songs would like go crazy live? Because like I think of the start to like Girl Like Me or something like that goes crazy.
Yeah.
Live.
So I'm trying to think. So yeah, when we made the album, mixtape, the producer that I was working with constantly talked about how good things would sound live, and I wasn't necessarily thinking about that, but he kept bringing it up. He kept being like, yeah, this is going to sound so good live, and I was like, okay, interesting, and I just kind of like had it in mind, but I didn't necessarily think about it until we were preparing the tour. And I have an MD, called Keithan, but actually what I asked from him was that he let me MD. I was like, can you let me MD the show? And then everyone was like, oh, that's crazy, you're gonna run out of time, but I was like, I just want to do it. So then I took all of the stems from all my songs, and then I basically musically directed the show. And so all those choices, like the Girl Like Me thing, like that was from me just like putting it in and being like, oh, I think
That's
that would be
interesting. I love how hands-on you are
Yeah.
as an artist. I feel like that's what makes all the difference.
good. I think so. For me personally, for sure. And then, yeah, so there's a few bits in the show where I like to pay homage to certain things. Like I've already mentioned the streets. Like
Yeah.
I have a streets kind of like monologue in there. I put the Basement Jaxx original intro to Romeo in Girl Like Me.
Girl Like Me.
So yeah, there's just so all those little things is when that's me putting like my stamp on it.
Okay. I'm learning a lot. Okay, let me play. I think I just have to play this one. Might have been one of your picks, but
My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Hey, ooh, is this illegal? Hey, ooh, it feels illegal. I've solved it quite a few times with paranoia. Oh, what's your name? I don't know what I should call you. Hey, ooh, here's 20 for you. Hey, we're getting high around the corner. One after one, now you're sitting on my bed. Then later on, we can talk on it instead. Two into one while you're sitting on my bed. Then later on, I can feel shame in my head. We'll meet again when my head works like it used to.
I want to listen to that whole thing because I really like the end where you're like sitting on my bed. Yeah, I really like that part.
Thank you.
I was watching an interview of yours and you said that this almost didn't drop as the lead single and you had to kind of like push for that.
Yes.
How does it feel like to like, you know, push for your art when sometimes people don't get it the way you get it?
Yeah. So I remember my label wanted it to be Romeo to be the lead single, and I was like, okay, like that's cool, but I actually just don't think that should be the case, and I was pushing for illegal. And yeah, I've been lucky. There are artists, unfortunately, in very, very bad positions with their label, and a lot of them are my friends, and they'll explain to me like, I'll be like, so when is this dropping? Like, what are you doing with this? And they'll be like, you know, my label aren't letting me drop it. And I'm like, whoa. And I can say solemnly, in those moments is when I feel the most privileged to be in my position with my label, where they kind of follow my lead. Sometimes, obviously sometimes there is pushback, which you can't really negotiate about, but my label they trust me a lot. And I think it all goes to show, because I mean, I obviously did a lot of this myself in the beginning, so I think that it kind of left them with no choice but to be like, well, you know, if we come in and start changing everything, then she might lose. She might lose. And I'm one of those people where like, if my morale is lost, then it's like,
you can't get me to do anything.
yeah, you can't get me, and I won't. So I think that they recognize that. But honestly, when I hear people's situations, it makes me very sad. I can start crying thinking about it. It's like some of the people that I know just in their situations, it's very sad. So I've never had it too much as a problem, but that one was funny. I remember that it was such a like debate about if it should be Romeo or illegal, but I always knew it should be illegal.
There's just something about illegal that's just like really just out there.
Yeah.
I think Romeo is great too, but like yeah.
I always knew it should be.
Yeah.
So it's this one.
I love the sample on there.
So do I.
The Dark and Long by Underworld. The first time I heard that song was in the movie Trainspotting.
Yeah, of course.
Was that the first time that you heard it?
Pretty much, yeah. But then I listened to
Yeah.
the whole album, and I ended up being a fan. But I love Underworld, and actually they've been so gracious. I know their fans they have very diehard fans. So a lot of these fans would be like, you know, did she clear this? You know, like, and I was like, of course I cleared it. Like, come on, it's fine. And then they ended up making like, they actually play it sometimes at their sets. So yeah, I love them. I really think they're so fire.
Some people have talked about the story in that song, like that you're telling on there, kind of relating to the scene that it was used in Trainspotting.
100%. It was conscious, yeah. It's definitely, even when I hear the beat though, I do think of drugs. Like, just, I don't know, anything. It's like a song you'd hear at a rave. And I don't know, funnily enough, yeah, the story is literally just about me smoking weed when I was a teenager, and it went badly. It really did.
Bad trip.
it's funny to say that in accordance to weed, but genuinely, yes.
I mean, I feel like people react differently to just
They
different
do.
things.
Yeah.
And was that like, have you ever like tried again, or was that like a no?
I think so. I think my body is just not suited to outdoor substances. So yeah, I just do think that.
I feel you on that. Okay, I'm gonna pass you. That's you pick.
So we are now at Heaven Knows. There we go.
Yeah.
This is the third project. So there's so much to go work with here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good songs on that project.
But actually, I'm gonna my favorite always changes. I really like. Okay, I'm gonna play this one.
Okay.
Is this called
Okay.
Internet Baby?
I like the fact there's an interlude.
It's an interlude, which is.
You're a needy guy, but I guess I kind of like that. You came on too strong, but I guess I kind of like that. You're a needy guy, but I guess I kind of like that. You came on too strong, but I guess I kind of like that. I got this rhythm for you. It goes a little something like a why. You offered a brand new tattoo. You wanna put your name on me, here's why. My SDs, USBs, you want all of those.
So yeah, this one I made with this. I made with Vitals and London on the track. It was so random. Like my manager was like, "Oh, would you like to session with London on the track?" I was like, yeah, of course, because I'm a huge hip hop fan. I love rap. I love American rap. So I was like, yeah, I would love that. Just on a legendary tip, I wanted to do it. I didn't actually know if any music would come out of it because I didn't know if I just didn't expect any. 'Cause sometimes you do sessions and you're just going to meet someone or you're just going to like chill and just vibe. But
Let's see whatever happens.
exactly. But then we ended up kind of cutting a rough demo to this song, and it just never left it was the melody that I really liked. It was the I really liked the melody, so I was like, I want to make sure that I end up finishing the song. And yeah, it's an interesting one. It ended up having way more producers on it than I expected, because yeah, I mean, that whole album has a lot of producers on it. This was a very produced album, I remember, but this song in particular, I just really like it. It's a very different song to anything I've made.
It's different from like we're talking about you stepping out of that drum and bass
100%.
pocket, and you could tell doing that on here.
Yeah, when I was writing it, I was actually thinking of like Doja Cat. I was like, this could be a Doja Cat demo.
You know what? Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to ask of you is, separate from this song, there's something you spoke about that has really stood out with me, and that was you speaking about living with the doubt as an artist, and like sometimes putting out music that maybe feels a little cringe, or doing something that feels a little like you don't want to put this out. How do you mentally overcome that?
So I like to think that I have a good enough. I know when I'm releasing something. Before I put anything out, I know if it's bad, I know if it's really good, and I know if it's not so good and okay. Like I know when something comes out, I like to know what people are going to react to it. And I've usually been right. Like I know if I put out a song that I would never release a song that I'm not happy with, but I can gauge, I have that feeling. I know when something's going to have a pretty reaction. If I like a song, but I know objectively it might not be the best, I know that people might
What do you
be
think in a song, like, do you think for you have to hear for you to be like, okay,
like this is a really good song?
yeah, for your music?
So for me personally, I think, and this is how I decide what a really good song is, and what most people's metrics are, is just how strong a hook is. I think a hook is everything. And I'm someone that has songs without hooks, and I'm someone that has songs with hooks, like actual real hooks. So my songs without hooks, I know people will probably be less like able to vibe with it too much. But then there are some songs which have, like Stateside, I remember that song did not have a hook. But some of my songs actually just do not have a hook. It's just a verse and then like an outro, which is strange but true. And yeah,
People love the hooks though.
yeah, I love a hook. So I think a hook is the hardest thing to crack in songwriting, personally.
It feels like you've cracked it.
Well, thank you.
There are so many catchy ones. Off the top of my head, I could think of so many. What I want to ask you is that you came up on TikTok. I feel like the world that you came up in, it's just been a few years, but I feel like the world on social media is so different now. If hypothetically in a different world you had to do it all over again,
every time I think about this, I just think like I don't think I could do it. Well, I don't know. I'm someone that like I never want to say nothing's possible. I think I could do it, but I think it would be 10 times harder.
What do you think is different now?
I just think I said this in another interview, but I just think right now it's very oversaturated to like do it, like do music through TikTok like that. It's quite an oversaturated field.
What do you think is then? How do you think artists get their music out there? Is there a different path that you think, okay, maybe now might make more sense than TikTok now that TikTok's oversaturated?
Well, I hate to sound, I guess, neglectful of said artists, but I suppose I haven't, because, you know, I suppose I managed to kind of build the fan base I have now. I suppose I haven't had to think about it from a newer artist perspective. However, if there was an artist coming to me with no label, how I started out, no label, no ties, nothing, I'd be like, give me 3 days, I would go study, and then I would come back and present them with something.
Do you do a lot of studying?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
I like that actually, because like, you know, sometimes some artists give the impression off that it's like very effortless, but then I see that you kind of think a lot about like the current state and you kind of study your audience.
Yeah, I think so. It's just how much you let people, it's just how much you let your audience see you struggling. Like at the beginning, my audience knew that I was very hungry for it because I was literally posting like, I need to leave university right now, please, please listen to my music, please, please, please. I was begging them, like quite literally I was begging them, and I was like, but then after I think the first few songs took off, I stopped it, I stopped begging. I was like, well, now I'm the deliverer of the music that you are asking for. Like you're asking for a song so I can bring it to you, and you can...
Demand is there, basically.
Yeah, the demand was there back then, so I was able to kind of, you know, I didn't have to sit too much on the whole, like, oh, I need you to listen to this so I can... but yeah, and then since then, I've tried to keep all of my, you know, moments where I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, like to myself.
Okay.
Because I just, yeah.
You don't think the audience needs to see that part?
I personally wouldn't want my audience to see me in that position. I am very vulnerable, like I'm very honest about my feelings and things, but I think that, you know, I don't want my audience to... Morale is a real thing. If you tell your audience, like, oh, I'm not sure, you know, I'm like, you know, if my thing is, if I seem insecure to my audience, then they will in turn. They won't internalize it for themselves, but they will.
They'll start to find that in you.
Yeah, that's it. And then it's associated with me, and you know, I think you sometimes need to fake the confidence when it comes to your own artistry. 100%. 100%.
I like that. Okay, I think this is my last song. I have like 3 choices, but I just gotta pick one. Okay, I'm just throw it back. This one. Okay.
No one ever saw me cry until I left the party the other night. Do you remember all the things that you said to me that came out of his mouth automatically? That I'm so used to saying, I'm fine. And then something that you did to hurt me last year comes to me. Despite those times, one day I just wanna hear you say, I like you. What's up in you? What's up in you? What's up in you? What's up in you? Wish I could go back to life.
You kind of had like, I would say, an emo like thing going for you back then, but I don't think that's your current image.
Yeah,
right now.
I used to definitely be more like alternative dressing wise. Yeah. Maybe not now too much, but in my day to day, I don't know. Actually, weirdly, I've been really kind of loving that aesthetic again. There was a point in this era where I was really pop girl, like really pop, like wearing like these really pretty dresses and stuff. And I found it so fun, but I think weirdly, I don't know if it's the seasons or what my mood has been or my music taste right now, but I'm kind of getting back more into like this, not right now obviously, but like this more kind of, I don't know, emo alternative dressing style again. It's been quite fun and freeing. It's like my old self again.
I feel like the visual aesthetic for this era has been so like tight. Did you think of that while you were making the project? Because it just seems like it's just so cohesive. It feels like it was at the same time.
I didn't no. So I finished the music and then I kind of tied in the aesthetics of everything. There was a bit of overlap. Like I think halfway through the project, I realized that it was a way more British leaning mixtape. It was very UK leaning, like in terms of its sound and its references. So I knew from that point on that it should be something that kind of leans into that bit. So yeah,
You've kind of used like album interchangeably, and I know
I
it's a
keep forgetting,
mixtape. But like, what do you think like when you put together a project, being like, okay, this is a mixtape now?
For me, it's literally just it's the way you set your intention. Like, I use every project of mine as a stepping stone to the next thing, while simultaneously appreciating the era as well. Like, I won't ever just like glaze over an era and act like it didn't happen. Like, I put my all into every single one, but every project is to build up to something which ends up being a whole discography. In 10 years time, you can look back and be like, okay, this was for that, this set the tone, this set the groundwork for this to happen next, which was a bigger moment than this, which hopefully is a bigger moment. So this project for me, I knew it wasn't going to be an album from the moment I started it. I just didn't set my intention for it to be an album. Like for me, an album is like this was me working on a mixtape at my 100%, not an album at my 100%.
Even the way you put out like a I would say like a remix project to it even seems like what someone would do for a whole album.
100%. So the remix project actually came, I've been making remix projects since my first mixtape back in 2021. So I love remix projects in general, no matter if it's for album or mixtape. So, but yeah, no, an album for me is like, I would be taking that a lot more serious.
You feel like the stakes are higher now with the success of
a little
Fancy
bit,
That?
honestly, yeah. A little bit, which actually wasn't my aim, but yeah, an album is like a whole different thing for me.
I get that. That's fair. Okay, I'm pass it for your final one. Are you sure? 100%. Okay. I mean, I'm counting. I took Illegal, that one. Attracted to You. That was my fifth. It was 5, yeah. There was Attracted to You, Noises, Illegal, Break It Off. There was like a...
Now we're on my 4th project, which is Fancy That. So I'm gonna play this one here.
Oh, yeah. I love the Adlibs on this one. When I listen to your songs, one thing I really like is how you use the ad-libs as like embellishments. Like even there when you say stop it, the track just like stops a little and then starts again. Like what's the process for like, you know, putting together your ad-libs? Because like they're so iconic.
I guess it's all about feeling. Like sometimes when I'm hearing a track and I feel like it's been monotonous for too long, I'm like, I need something to break this up right now. So then it will be like a beat stop or something like that.
Okay. How about, I feel like even like you have so many iconic ad-libs. Like a lot of people like the hey that you always just use throughout. Like how did those come along? Do you just like stream of consciousness, just top of my say whatever?
Oh God, I can't remember. I think that I was inspired by Don Toliver, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it.
I did not expect that at all.
Yep.
Okay. Let me play my final pick. I'm glad I have one more because I wanted to play this one. Okay.
I waited all this time, now I guess it's time I cannot try. A million things I can say, but baby, always someone got. I leave my bedroom with my post to serve you up. I do this all because you're my superstar. My superstar. I look at you and I wonder why it's so complicated. You're talking out to a crowd of people you thought you hated. Your friends all tell me you're too scared of coming up.
I love the breakdown that you did on social media for this song. It really kind of like, it gave such an insight into your process because I was like, okay, this is really, really cool. You played the chords, you kind of like pitched it up. I just want to say that. I respect that because
Thank you.
a lot of just seeing the process behind that, I think makes people like be like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So for this song, so when it comes to production, it's been a long time since I produced any song fully by myself because I'm very open about the fact I can't really produce drums that well. Drums are really difficult for me. I can produce them, like I do put them in. So what I do is I basically put them in and then get someone to like clean them up, or I'll be like, I'll play it and then I'll get them to just recreate
that.
But there's something about drums. But everything else, like chords and all of that, all the high-end stuff, I can do. But yeah, so that, yeah, because a lot of people do ask me about the production process. I think a lot of people as well also, I don't think anyone doubts that I produce, but I think some people are like, oh really, well, what does she do? So I was like, I think sometimes it's easy to just show people.
Show that. Yeah. Do you think there's something else that you would like to do sonically that you haven't like cracked yet? Because you talked about drums, but like just throughout your career, is there something else like sound-wise that like you're excited to explore for the future that you haven't done yet?
Yeah, I think, yeah. And one of those things, funnily enough, on topic is longer songs. I really do. I want to be comfortable with allowing instrumental to play for longer.
What about right now? Aren't you comfortable about that specific thing?
I think in a way, I've needed my fan base to develop into more of the music head community.
I see.
In a strange way. I think my fan base, and by the way, I love all of my fans, no matter what they look like, age, whatever the hell. I love all of them, and they're both a fan of mine for different reasons. Some people are fans of mine because some people are fans because they maybe like my personality. Some people are fans because they like only the instrumentals. Some people are fans because they like the lyrics. So people are fans for different reasons. And when I first started out, I don't necessarily think there was anybody that was calling for me to have like super long songs. I think there were a lot of teenagers and young adults that were like, oh, I just really like.
She sounds very different. That was what I just kept hearing.
The uniqueness and like the difference. But the more projects I release, the more people are like, oh, I want her to be more experimental. Now I have older fans that are like, oh, this is cool, but now I want her to like actually get into this, and I want her to enter this space, and I want her to be more experimental and have longer songs. I want her to push the boat out more, and that for me, I don't need anyone's permission to do anything. But for me, it means that there is like a calling and there is more of a comfortability for me to do something and know that people will understand what I'm trying to do.
Seems like you really pay attention.
I try, yeah, I do try.
That's very interesting because some artists have talked about like drowning out any external like noise at all.
I think it works differently for different people. Like, I just think that there are things I do drown out, but I think when it comes to that, I think as an artist, you have to be, the biggest artists are artists that are like toe to toe with their audience, like completely know each other in and out. Like if you wonder why Lady Gaga is so huge, because she has that relationship with her fans. Like she knows her fans very well, and they know her very well.
What's the line though?
There is definitely a line. Okay, yes, we could get parasocial for sure. Yeah. I think when it comes to music, that's where I like to draw the line.
Only my music.
Literally, I think when it comes into our like personal life, that
Like,
you can.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to music and creation, I think it's a good thing sometimes to look at your fans and actually ask the questions, like, you know, what do you want to hear from me, or like what, you know what I mean? And I think the beauty of being an artist that has a signature sound is that you can kind of take what they are asking for and do it your own way.
That is good. All right, we'll pass you the iPad. And
Thank
your
you.
final pick.
Okay, so this is finally my last project. Technically, this is the remix version of Fancy Some More. And a lot of these are my I mean, like, there's so many tracks to choose from.
Yeah.
I love so many of them. Oh gosh. Sorry. I love the OK Lou remix. I love the Jade. I love Jade, and I love the Jade remix. I have to shine a light on this specific remix because I am the biggest Drain guy. I always say I'm a big Drainer. I love Blade so much, and I love the production of this song. So I'm gonna play it.
I'm freezing outside, I feel my skin tight, my coat is inside, but I look up at you, I tried your plane ride, the one you're in tonight, tell me when is the next time I'll run into you, it sounds insane, right, I'll take a safe ride, wait at your bedside, I'll land right next to you, I'm going stateside, but I'll see you tonight, tell me how does a guy like me get into you? Talking to, and baby, you can be my American, ha ha boy, you can be my American, ha ha ha.
This is so different. I love this.
I know. I love that remix so much.
I think it's crazy how you have 3 remixes to
For the
state
same
the
song.
sound.
Yep.
Did you know the one with Zara was like gonna be like boom out there?
I think I actually had no idea. Yeah, I didn't really know. I didn't know at all it was I didn't know it was gonna be this big. Because that is a big song. That is a big song. Like there's levels to how big a song can be. And that definitely surpassed what I thought it could be. Just based off of just so many factors. The fact that it was a remix on a remix project for a song, which was for I just don't know. But I think after the first day, I did see everyone loved it. So I was like, okay, oh, this is good. It was a great reaction, yeah.
Blade is interesting.
I
feel like you have a
know.
wide range of what you listen to.
100, well, yeah.
And that
well,
shows in the music.
Well, Blade just for me is just like, him and OK Lou for me are just like 2 artists specifically from this project where I think I just love, I love artists with signature sounds, and I think those 2 are 2 from this specific project that I respect so highly because of that. Definitely. And so getting them on the project, I was like, this is like, so I made sure that the instrumentals fit their vibe. And this, I love this.
The fact that they took the song and made that with this is crazy.
Yeah, shout out Glacia too, the producer.
One thing I love about you is how you carry, like, you're really like passionate about the UK scene. So I wanted to ask you if there's like any emerging artists right now from the scene that you're just really excited about.
Of course, there's Natanya, my girl.
Yeah.
There's Aikida. He's not emerging. Well, he got Jim Legacy is one of my favorite. He's not. Thing is though, you can't really call it. He's because he's quite kind of already there. Yeah. So I'd say Jim for sure. Yeah, definitely those 3. I said one I'm missing. From the UK, I'd say those. You know, when I see them on my feed, I'm like yes. Yeah. And then this is my American up and coming. He's my opener, CC, Natalie, you guys.
Nice.
I mean, this girl, she's my opener, but her music is insane. It's insane. She produces everything herself.
Natalie, okay.
She writes everything herself. Like, she is that girl. So just saying, everybody gotta tune in. Please.
Opening tonight.
Opening tonight for the last few shows.
Yeah.
She's
I need to
amazing.
see that live.
I just love her vibe so much. She's sick.
What do you think is special about the UK? Like, what do you think is in the water that just makes the music so like, yeah?
I
hit
think,
different.
well, it's honestly, what I said earlier is true. The mundanity of the UK. The UK is very, like, as a whole place, it's quite mundane. Like, we aren't really sold about any dreams are possible. You're not sold a dream over there at all.
You think Americans are, like, sold a dream?
I think that everything's flashy here
Yeah,
in a way
it is
that we just
definitely
don't
more
have in the
flashy.
UK. I think things are flashy. Or, you know, if things aren't flashy in your home state, then, like,
Yeah.
something, you know, in close proximity is New York or LA, and then those two. But that is the industry, that is like Hollywood. So it's like, but in the UK there is, you know, like London. But then in London it's like, okay, like everything is just so grey, mundane. If it's not the weather, then it's the buildings are like looking really crappy.
else.
So I just think that one, you have to get more creative because everything, your whole environment isn't this big, you know, big caricaturized like thing that's just and then I also think that the predecessors of a lot of musical like your favorite musical artists, like older musical artists in the UK, their music kind of informs what someone like a Netanya or like when I listen to Netanya, I think of Jamelia, and Jamelia is like this artist that we had back in the day. And then when I listen to myself, I think of like Lily Allen and stuff like that. So in the UK, you kind of, there's like always like
lineage.
There's lineage for sure, but that lineage is kind of like, I don't know how to put it. The lineage is always so wholesome because it's like, everything's always been quite kept in the UK. Like, I don't know. Like when an artist is big in the UK, it's not necessarily that they're big in globally. They're just big in the
Sometimes
UK.
there's
So
not that crossover.
So it ends up that like you'll take inspiration from very UK centric, like 2006 UK references, which then everyone from America is
Very
looking
niche,
at, and it's like, well, that's super niche. But we're just like, oh, but this is what
it is.
you know, this person did back in the day. You guys didn't see this? Oh wait, of course not, because you guys aren't from the UK. So yeah, that's probably very badly explained on my behalf, but yeah.
I feel like it was pretty clear. I have just a couple more questions. I wanted to ask about, I saw someone tease like a Baby Keem feature with you on there. How did that, I know you were featured on the Melodic Blue before,
the deluxe.
but how's it like working with Keem? You know?
Well, I actually think Keem is a genius, and I really don't mince my words with this. Like, I really think there's few artists I can go into a studio with and watch their process, and I'm like, I know I have a lot to learn in general, but like when from a fellow artist, like you know, obviously sometimes you go into those sessions and you're kind of like, oh, okay, then let's see what's going on. But with him, it's like, oh, I have a lot to learn from this person.
Wow.
Like, I think he's very, very smart in terms of everything, like music production, how he writes. I think he's very smart. Yeah.
Very hands-on.
Yeah, very hands-on, but I also, just everything, like the way his mind works in regards to his audience and everything, and he's just very smart.
There's a lot of artists that like have come up lately and like you burn bright for a while, then you disappear, but it feels like you're thinking very long-term with your career. So like, where do you see PinkPantheress in like 10 years now?
I would love to develop artists, and I would love to continue my brand, obviously, and I continue my music making, but I want to cultivate other artists. I want to be a songwriter for other artists, and
When you say cultivate other artists, do you mean like actually with structure, like something like a label?
Well,
or like outside of like the structure?
I don't want to become it's so tough because, you know, whenever I always think about it, when people ask me if I want a label, like people in my personal life, I'm always like, I don't know why it feels, I don't know, something about that just feels, because so many people are wronged by labels, and obviously I could run a label and make sure everything's run the right way, but there's something about it that feels so like,
it's hard to oversee everything too,
yeah,
like from the
it
top.
is.
Yeah.
When I say cultivate, I mean like more so like a someone that like enriches
The mentor.
Yeah, mentor maybe. Well, I'd have to be. I feel like I couldn't do that right now. I'm still. I need mentoring, but when I hopefully in 10 years from now I'll be like old enough where I can do it for other people.
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think your energy was great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was really tired, but I said let me use the last of it on this.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was the perfect playlist with PinkPantheress. I feel like her picks were fire. And yeah, I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Big fan of yours.
Thank
Would love
you.
to see what you're working with toward the future. And you're just very exciting. I feel like you're one of the most exciting artists out right now.
Thank you.
And yeah, amazing.
Thank you.
You guys were stunning.